topic is volumetric analysis. Volumetric analysis. This is very important and interesting topic. Now, let us talk about volumetric analysis. This volumetric analysis can be studied in two forms. Volumetric analysis divided into two branches. One is qualitative analysis. Now, this is qualitative analysis, while the other one is quantitative analysis. This volumetric analysis is differentiated into two parts. One is qualitative analysis and the other one is quantitative analysis. Now, coming to the qualitative analysis, what is qualitative analysis? It is helpful in identification. Identification of compounds, and it helps in identification of quality of compounds, like whether it contains carbon, nitrogen or nickel, etc. like these elements. It helps in identification of quality. Now, coming to the quantitative analysis. This quantitative analysis deals with the study of quantity. How much the carbon is present, how much the nitrogen is present, whether it is present in pure form or not, or it contains any impurities in it. This is quantity. And it helps in determination. It helps in determination. Now, this quantitative analysis can be studied in two parts. One is instrumental while the other one is non-instrumental. This quantitative analysis can be studied in two different types. One is instrumental and other one is non-instrumental. Now, in non-instrumental, we come across like volumetric analysis. Now, and the other one is gravimetric analysis. This non-instrumental deals with volumetric analysis and gravimetric analysis. Volumetric analysis means it deals with the volume, metric means measurements. This volume, and it also helps in, it deals with the study concentration of any substance. The concentration is determined in molarity, normality or grams per liter. Is measurement. Now, coming to the gravimetric. Here metric means measurement. Gravi means gram. It helps in weighing of the compound. Gravimetric analysis deals with the weighing of the compound. Non-instrumental deals with volumetric analysis and gravimetric analysis. Now, this instrumental deals with colorimetry. And spectroscopic method. And photospectroscopic method. Photospectroscopy and conductometry. It deals with colorimetry, spectroscopic method, photospectroscopy, and conductivity, etc. This is instrumental and this is non-instrumental. Now, let us study about analyte. This analyte. Analyte is a compound that to be determined. Which is to be determined. And it is always taken in conical flask. And it is also called titrend. Titrend. It is taken in conical flask and it is also called titrend. Analyte is a compound which is to be determined and it is taken in conical flask and it is also called titrend. This is conical flask. This is a diagram of conical flask. Next, let us talk about burette. This is the structure of burette. In this burette, we take standard solution. This is the structure of burette, and in this burette, we take standard solution. Now, what is standard solution? Standard solution is a solution in which whose concentration is known to us and the concentration will be remain constant with regarding to the change in temperature or change in time. As concentration is constant and do not change with time. Standard solution is a solution in which whose concentration is constant and it do not get changed with respect to the time. Now, this standard solution is of two types. One is primary standard solution and the second one is secondary standard solution. Primary standard solution and secondary standard solution. What is primary standard and secondary standard? Primary standard solution is a solution in which same the concentration is known and it do not get changed with respect to the time, and it contains less number of impurities and it is most pure compound when it compared with the secondary standard solution. Example, oxalic acid and K2Cr2O7. These two are the examples and etc. These two are the examples for primary standard solution. Now, let us have one task. Prepare 1 normality oxalic acid. Preparation of 1 normal oxalic acid. The structure of oxalic acid is COOH and COOH. Now, the molecular weight of oxalic acid is 126. molecular weight is 126. When we consider normality, normality is weight by gram equivalent into, we want for 100, now whole divided by 1000. Gram equivalent is, how we determine gram equivalent? Gram equivalent means molecular weight by, this is acid, so molecular weight divided by basicity. It contains 2 hydrogen, 126 divided by 2, that is 63. Now 63 here 10 divided by 10, that is 6.3 grams. If we take 6.3 grams of oxalic acid, if we take 6.3 grams in oxalic acid, it is up to 100 ml. If we take 6.3 grams oxalic acid in a conical flask and add some water, dilute it with some water, now make the volume up to 100 ml. Now this solution is called primary standard solution. Primary standard solution. Now this primary standard solution, the concentration will not get changed with respect to the time. If we keep for 1 day or 2 days, the concentration will not get changed. This is primary standard solution. Now secondary standard solution. Secondary standard solution is a solution in which the concentration is known to us and the concentration will get changed with respect to the time. Examples: KMNO4. While we prepare KMNO4 in our laboratory, this KMNO4 with same process which is kept in conical flask, if we place it for this and NaOH also. If we prepare NaOH solution, NaOH will be in solid form, and when the NaOH will be left free in air, it will get moisture, and as a result, when we prepare a solution like this, if it is kept in air, it gets moisture. As a result, the concentration will becomes lesser and lesser day by day. So the concentration will be not constant in secondary standard solution, and the concentration will be constant in primary standard solution. This is some basic information about standard solution. Standard solution is the concentration of standard solution is a solution in which whose concentration is constant and do not get changed with respect to the time. And the standard solution is of two types. One is primary standard solution and secondary standard solution. What is primary standard solution? Primary standard solution is a solution in which the concentration is constant and do not get changed, and it is highly pure compound. Examples are oxalic acid and K2Cr2O7. Now coming to the secondary standard solution. Secondary standard solution is a solution in which the concentration is constant but it gets changed with respect to the time. Examples are KMNO4 and NaOH. This is some information about analyte and standard solution. Let us take one more concept under the volumetric analysis, that is types of titrations. Types of titrations. Types of titrations. There are many types of titrations. First one is acid-base titration. Acid-base titration. Second one is first one is acid-base titration. Second one is precipitation titration. Third one is redox titrations. Now, fourth one is complexometric titrations. There are four types of titrations. First one is acid-base titration, second one is precipitation titration, third one is redox titration, and fourth one is complexometric titration. It is also called EDTA titration, ethylene diamine tetraacetate titration. Now, in this lecture, first we will discuss about acid-base titrations. In acid-base titrations, first of all, there is a reaction between acid and base. Here, acid will get reacted with the base, resulting in the formation of neutralized salt. Now, there are 5 theories which explains about acid-base titrations. First theory is Arrhenius theory. Arrhenius theory. Second one is Bronsted-Lowry theory. And third one is Lewis theory. While fourth one is Usenovich theory. Usenovich theory. Fifth one is Lux-Flood theory. There are 5 theories which are present and which explains about this acid-base titrations. That is, first one is Arrhenius theory, second one is Bronsted-Lowry theory, third one is Lewis theory, fourth one is Usenovich theory, fifth one is Lux-Flood theory. This fourth and fifth, these both theories are not included in our syllabus. We need to discuss about these three: Arrhenius, Bronsted-Lowry, and Lewis theory. These three are important. Arrhenius, Bronsted-Lowry, these three theories are important for our standard. First, let us talk about Arrhenius theory. Arrhenius theory. Arrhenius is a scientist. In the year 1894, he proposed a theory called Arrhenius theory and he got a Nobel Prize. He got a Nobel Prize for this Arrhenius theory. In this theory, he explained about the character of acid and base in aqueous medium. Only in the presence of aqueous medium. According to the Arrhenius, he defined acid as acid. Acid is a substance which can donate. I will write this. Is a substance which is ionized partially or completely. to produce hydrogen ions in aqueous medium. According to the Arrhenius theory, acid is a substance which is ionized partially or completely to produce hydrogen ions in aqueous medium. Examples are HCl, HNO3, H2SO4, etc. These are the examples of acids. Now coming to the base. Coming to the base. Base is a substance which is ionized partially or completely in a aqueous medium to produce OH minus ions. Is a substance which produce OH minus ions in the aqueous medium. Example: Cl minus, Br minus, HCO3 minus, etc. This is acid and it is a base. Now let us discuss this acid base theory is type of neutralization reaction. It is a type of neutralization reaction, and when we consider the nature of water in this Arrhenius theory, nature of water, when we consider the nature of water is neutral and it acts as only solvent. It will act as only solvent. Now, advantages of, let us consider the advantages. In Arrhenius theory, he completely explained and briefly explained about acids and bases in aqueous medium. About acids and bases in aqueous medium. There are some limits to this Arrhenius theory. What are these limits? Limits of this Arrhenius theory is, he explained only the character of acid and base in aqueous medium. Only in aqueous medium. Now, second limit is, he failed to explain the stability of H plus ion. Stability of H plus ion, and only in limits, it only explained in aqueous medium, and the stability of H plus ions is, he did not explain the stability of H plus ions, and he failed to explain the character of acid and base which are not present in aqueous medium. Not in aqueous medium. This is a complete description of Arrhenius theory. In 1894, he got a Nobel Prize, and he explained about the acid and base, character of acid and base in aqueous medium. He described about acid and base. According to Arrhenius theory, the acid is a substance which is ionized completely or partially to produce hydrogen ions. Example HCl, HNO3 and H2SO4. Now according to the Arrhenius, base is a substance which is ionized completely or partially to produce OH minus ions. Example Cl minus, Br minus, HCO3 minus, etc. And it is a type of neutralization reaction which produce water, which produce salt. And when we consider the nature of water, the nature of water is neutral and this water will act as solvent. Now coming to the advantages of this Arrhenius theory, it completely explained about the acid and base in aqueous medium. There are some limits and limitations for this Arrhenius theory. First limit is it only explained the character of acid and base in only the aqueous medium, and he failed it. This is the first limit. Second limit is he failed to explain about the stability of hydrogen ions, and third limit is he failed to explain about the acid and base in absence of aqueous medium. This is the complete picture of Arrhenius theory. Now, the next theory is Bronsted-Lowry theory. Bronsted and Lowry, these are the two different scientists who proposed this Bronsted-Lowry theory in any kind of medium, that is either in aqueous medium or non-aqueous medium. In aqueous or non-aqueous. They described about acid and base in Bronsted-Lowry acid. According to the Bronsted-Lowry theory, acid can be defined as acid is a substance which produces H plus ions in any of the medium. Acid is a substance which have capacity to produce H plus ions in any of the medium, either it is aqueous or non-aqueous. Example H2SO4, HNO3 and CH3COOH, etc. According to the Bronsted-Lowry theory, acid is a substance which produces H plus ions in any of the medium, that is either aqueous or non-aqueous. Aqueous or non-aqueous. This is the acid. Now coming to the base. According to the Bronsted-Lowry theory, base is a substance which have capacity to donate or accept the H plus ions in any of the medium. Base is a substance which have capacity to donate OH minus ions in any of the medium. Base is a substance which have the capacity to donate OH minus ions or accept H plus ions in any of the medium. Example Cl minus, Br minus, HSO4 minus, ClO3 minus, etc. This is about acid and base. And when we consider the nature of water, nature of water is either amphoteric or amphiprotic. Now this acid can act as both acid, this water can act as both acid and water. When we consider the when we take a reaction like acid plus water, now this water will act as base. When we consider base plus water, this water will act as acid. This is the nature of water. Water can be amphiprotic or amphoteric or amphiprotic. When we take acid plus water, this water will act as base. When we take base with water, this water will act as acid. And advantage. Advantage. It explains about nature of acid and base in any of the medium, that is aqueous or non-aqueous. And we need to discuss one more topic, that conjugate acid base pair theory. Conjugate acid base pair. Conjugate acid base pair, as we know, according to Bronsted-Lowry theory, there is every conjugate acid base pair is present. Let us consider one example. HCl plus HCO3 will result in the formation of Cl minus plus H2CO3. Now HCl is an acid and ClO3 minus is base. Now Cl minus is base, H2CO3 is acid. Now this HCl, it will, in HCl the H plus will be shifted to HCO3. As a result, this acid will get converted, this H, in this HCl the H will be shifted to HCO3, which is base. Now this base will get converted into acid, and this is a conjugate acid base pair. This is a conjugate acid base pair. Now this HCl, in this HCl, H will get shifted, as a result only Cl minus will be remaining. Now this acid and base, this both are conjugate acid base pairs. This is a theory of conjugate acid base theory, and there is a limitations. It also did not explain about the stability of H plus ions, and it explains about the character of acid and base in aqueous or non-aqueous medium. It is one of the advantage, and this is a complete picture of Bronsted-Lowry theory. Some of the examples of conjugate acid base are H2SO4, it is HSO4 minus. This is acid and it is a base. HNO3, that is NO3 minus. This is acid and it is a base. These both are conjugate acid base pairs. This is a Bronsted-Lowry theory of acid base titrations. let us discuss the third theory is Lewis theory. Lewis is a scientist. In 1923, he proposed a theory called Lewis theory. According to this Lewis theory, he explained about acid and base with respect to the Lewis dot structure. Lewis dot structure. In 1923, he proposed a Lewis theory. In this Lewis theory, he explained about the character of acid and base with respect to the Lewis dot structure. Now, according to the Lewis, as first we discuss about base, acid. Acid is, according to the Lewis theory, acid is a substance which have capacity to accept the lone pair of electrons. Substance which can accept the lone pair of electrons. Now, what is, and this acid will act as electrophile. It will act as electrophile. What is base? Base is a substance in which have capacity to donate OH, which have capacity to donate lone pair of electrons. Which will donate the lone pair of electrons. Whenever a substance is said to be a base, it must acquire the octet rule, and it should contain at least one extra lone pair. At least one extra lone pair. It must contain at least one extra lone pair. Now, it will act as nucleophile. It will act as a nucleophile. Examples: NH3, RNH3, CH3COOH, and HSO4 minus, HCO3 minus. And here the examples are H2SO4 and also HSO4 and also HCO3. Now, as we observe, here it is HSO4 and here it is HSO4, and here it is HCO3, here it is HCO3. Now, this HSO4 will act as both acid and base, because whenever this HSO4 will donate the H plus atom, as a result it forms SO4 2 minus. Now, it will act as base SO4 by removing the H plus ions in it. It will act as base. Base is a substance which can donate the lone pair of electrons. Now, whenever this HSO4 in base will accept the H plus ion, will result in the formation of H2SO4, and it will act as an acid. This is common for both HSO4 and HCO3. HSO4, HCO3. This both HSO4 is acid and base, and HCO3 is acid and base. Now, let us discuss about Lewis acid, detail about Lewis acid. Before discussing about Lewis acid and base, we must know about octet rule. What is octet rule? Acquiring the eightmost electrons in the outermost shell to get noble gas configuration. To get noble gas configuration. This is the octet rule. Acquiring the eightmost electrons in the outermost shell to get the noble gas configuration. Now, let us discuss about Lewis dot structure, Lewis dot model. If Lewis dot model, first we discuss about base. Base is a substance in which, if in a Lewis structure, if it is called as a base, then it should have some criteria that it should obtain the octet rule and it should contain at least one lone pair of electron. Now we take an example like NH3. NH3. Now by drawing the structure, this is N, H, H, H. The valency of nitrogen is 5. Here 1, 2, 3. Already 3 are there. Now it contains one extra lone pair. When it is reacted with H plus, this H plus comes from HCl. HCl will H plus Cl minus. Here this H plus do not contain any electrons, so it contains 0 electrons. Now when these H plus ions will get added here, it resulting in the formation of NH4 plus. This is the structure of NH4 plus. This is about base. Now about acid. About acid. Acid is a substance in which, and one more example for this is AlCl3. Now acid is a substance in which do not have octet rule, and if this acid is called Lewis acid, it should obtain the octet rule by acquiring the eightmost electrons in it, and which have capacity to attract the lone pair of electrons towards it. Now we study the acid by taking the example AlCl3. AlCl3. By drawing the structure of AlCl3, Al, this is Cl, Cl, Cl. The valency of aluminium, as aluminium belong to third group family, boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 elements will belong to the third group family. So as a result, the valency will be 3. The valency gets satisfied 1, 2, 3. If the valency got satisfied, but it do not have the octet rule. In octet rule means we should have 8 electrons in outermost shell. We have only 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it must require 2 electrons. So as a result, when it is reacted with Cl minus, there is one more difference between Cl and Cl minus ions. Cl means it contains 7 electrons around the circle, that is Cl means 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, whereas Cl minus means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. It contains 8 electrons around the chlorine. This one more electron comes from H plus. This one more electron comes from H plus when it is reacted as H plus Cl minus. This this electron from H plus will get shifted to Cl minus ions. As a result, there is a minus symbol for it, and it acquires the octet role. As a result, when this Cl minus ions will get attacked here, it resulting in the formation of AlCl4. Now there is octet rule which is confirmed here, 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8. As a result, there are 8 electrons in the outermost shell, and it will be acted as acid by accepting the electrons from Cl minus. This is a structure of Lewis acid and base mechanism. Now this is a structure of Lewis and acid base mechanism. Now coming to the nature of water. Coming to the nature of water in Lewis theory, the nature of water is basic in nature. Because why it is basic in nature means, let us draw a structure. This is structure of water. Now this is a structure of water. Already it is paired with 2 hydrogen ions. As a result, it contains 2 lone pair of electrons. 2 lone pair of lone pairs. It has capacity to donate this lone pair, and it has capacity to donate this lone pair. As a result, this will act as basic. As a result, this water acts as basic in nature. As what is base according to this Lewis theory means, the substance which can donate lone pair of electron is called Lewis base, and it acts as a nucleophile, and water will act as a nucleophile. This is a complete description about Lewis theory. Lewis theory, in 1922 he proposed Lewis theory. According to this Lewis theory, acid and base, he described about the acid and base with respect to the Lewis dot structure. According to the Lewis theory, acid is a substance which can accept lone pair of electrons, and it will act as a electrophile. Examples are AlCl3, H2SO4, HSO4 and HCO3, etc. What is base? Base is a substance which can donate the lone pair of electrons, and there is a condition for base is it must contain at least one lone pair of electron after acquiring the octet role, and this will act as a nucleophile. Examples NH3, RNH3, CH3COOH, HSO4 and HCO3. Now about octet role. Octet role is acquiring the 8 most electrons in outermost shell to get noble gas configuration, and the nature of water is basic in nature. And as we discussed about mechanism of action of Lewis theory as Lewis base and Lewis acid. This is a complete description about acid base titration. In next video we will discuss about the precipitation titrations.